Jacksonville, Florida, December 16. A Washington Redskins helmet is seen before the game against the Jacksonville Jaguars at TIAA Bank Field on December 16, 2018 in Jacksonville, Florida. Photo by Sam Greenwood, Getty Images. Every year, there are a boatload of NFL players that end up signing one-year contracts. These prove-it deals are usually designated for players that have some kind of concern. Often, it involves the inability to stay healthy, but sometimes, it can be about showcasing ability as well. These deals always carry very little financial risk. Sure, the team may end up blowing money on a player that doesn't do anything for them, but frequently, it's just a short-term hit on a deal with minimal guarantees. So, the risk isn't that bad. Teams should always at least consider taking a chance on these players if they believe they can upgrade the roster. The Redskins are no different. The team has some holes, and while they could consider some of the potential starters left on the market, it may behoove them to invest in a player on a prove-it deal. Of course, the team has had issues with injuries in recent seasons, so that could detract them from the market of some injury-prone players. But still, there are a few players on the market that, if healthy, could really help the team. Washington may not ultimately end up targeting anyone from this group. But with the front office and coaching staff's jobs potentially on the line, they will likely do whatever they can to load up their rosters with quality playmakers. Here's a look at a few players that the team could at least consider adding on prove-it deals, if the numbers make sense. Page 2 Atlanta, GA, September 30. Tyler Eifert. Photo by Kevin C. Cox, Getty Images. It's amazing that both C.J. Uzomah and Tyler Kroft were signed before Tyler Eifert. It's clear that Eifert is the most talented of the bunch, but both Uzomah and Kroft signed deals worth roughly $6 million annually. However, Eifert remains on the open market. Of course, there is a reason for this. Eifert has been extremely injury-prone during his NFL career, and he has never played a full season in the NFL. In fact, in the past 3 years, he has just played 14 contests of a possible 48. Obviously, that's not a good thing. Still, when Eifert is on the field, he is a big-time red zone threat. In his best year, and one of his healthiest, Eifert caught 13 touchdowns in 13 games. If he can somehow stay on the field, the 28-year-old could regain form and be a potential starter at tight end. If not, he's a great rotational option. Want your voice heard? Join the Riggo's Rag team. Write for us. The Redskins are set at tight end for the moment, but if they can add Eifert on a one-year, prove-it deal, they should absolutely consider it. Jordan Reed has health issues in his own right, and perhaps rotating Reed and Eifert could keep them a bit fresher and allow them to prevent more injuries. Additionally, with the Redskins lacking quality players at receiver, adding more pass-catching weapons at tight end could be smart. A look with both Reed and Eifert on the field would create mismatches. Throw in Vernon Davis to that mix, and 3 tight end sets could become a big-time factor. At the very least, Eifert could be quality depth, and if he's cheap enough, the Skins could benefit from adding him. He's not a high priority at all, but if he lingers on the market, Washington should at least kick the tires on him. Page 3 CHARLOTTE, NC, in November 13, Eric Berry. Photo by Streeterletska, Getty Images. The Redskins could still add at the safety position. They have some young pieces they could try to pair with Landon Collins on the back end, but their interest in retaining Clinton Dix is telling that they could look for another veteran option. Clinton Dix's loss will have a bigger impact than most expect, as he was one of the matches on the free agent market that would pair well with Collins' skill set. There are still some out there that make sense, and Eric Berry is one of them. Berry was released by the Chiefs just after the league year officially began. At that time, I explored whether or not the Redskins going after Berry would make sense, and said the following of that possibility. More from Rigo's Rag. The past couple of seasons have been a rough go for Barry. He has only played in a total of 4 games, including the postseason, as Achilles and heel issues have plagued him. And when on the field, he clearly wasn't 100%. Still, when healthy, Barry is one of the best safeties in the league. So, he should draw interest on a market that paid Earl Thomas $55 million over 4 years. Comparatively, Barry is similarly excellent in coverage, like Thomas, and they are both entering their 30s, but his health has been worse than Thomas's. So, he will likely command less on the open market and could get a 1-year, prove-it deal. The Redskins should certainly have an interest in getting Barry. Though they are displaying interest in bringing back Clint and Dix, they may not be able to get the job done. He might simply be too costly if he has multiple suitors. If that ends up being the case, the Skins will have to look for an alternative, and Barry could be the fit. Barry's concerns are well documented, but if he can get back to being fully healthy, he should have a good chance to be one of the better starting safeties in the NFL. He would be a risk, but if the price is a 1-year deal, why not take it? Of course, the Skins could opt to go for a younger player. A guy like Trey Boston would stand out, and it is curious as to why the talented defensive back has had to settle for cheap 1-year deals in recent seasons. The team could also go after a guy like Deontay Thompson on day 2 of the draft. Page 4. Not long ago, Josh Sitton was considered to be one of the best guards in football. He has declined in recent seasons, and during his lone year with the Dolphins, he played in only 1 game. Still, if the Redskins are looking for a stopgap starter or veteran depth at the guard position, Sitton should be an option. Sitton is coming off a shoulder injury that limited him for the Dolphins. He is also 33. That said, interior linemen can play at a high level into their mid-30s. So, if Sitton is healthy, there's a chance he could still have a year or so left as a starter. And at the very least, he'd be an upgrade over what the team already has at guard. At the moment, the Redskins don't have a realistic starting option at guard. They are expected to look for a starter in depth in the draft, but they may need to add 3 players on the interior. They could at least check off 1 spot by adding Sitton. If they sign him to a cheap deal, they could give him a chance to compete for the left guard job. He comes with 138 starts at both guard positions, so he should be able to seamlessly slide in and at least patch the hole as a stopgap until a rookie is ready to take over. Sitton isn't a guy that is going to wow a lot of people. But he's a veteran that has, mostly, been durable over the course of his career. If he's recovered from the shoulder injury that sidelined him last year, he will be a major upgrade at left guard. The Redskins could then invest in competition and a successor for him in the draft. Next, 3 positions the Redskins can settle it in 2019. None of these deals are necessarily likely, and they aren't surefire successes. Still, the Skins should at least consider taking a chance on these players if they want to improve some of their weaknesses on the roster.